Well, time to continue. 120 years ago, Tokner and Merved united the human halfling Canaans and wiped out the Orcish race. Well, almost. Alright then, so at this point, I need to decide where to go. I'm level 14, I need to get up a few more levels. Maybe we'll go to Kalto's shop and get killed there, perhaps. But I prefer to do that maybe later. There's the steam core over there. Palace of Fumes. So yeah, there's a few areas over here to basically explore. I think what we're going to do right now, we're going to go into Krimbul Territory. And we're just going to see what's happening here. Alright, so we got ourselves Whitehoof Ghoul. It is a cross between a human and a bull, but more dead. Ghast. Whitehoof Invoker. Vortex of sickly arcane energy circle the great undead frame. Alright, well. Let's see what these guys are all about. Let's start with a bit of stunning on this guy. So all these guys are going to be a little bit higher level than me because I'm entering, this at like a level below what I should be going in, but whatever. Oops, ran out of stuff there. Alright, I need to... Let's put this over here for now. Right now, at this point, I need to basically use the thing on Can Reload and strafe. And Whitehoof Minotaur. So, this big Undead Minotaur is carrying a nasty looking hammer imbued with lightning. Fun. I could strafe some more, but let's just go with Styling Shot on this guy. Kill him. Alright, well, so this is basically the place that this guy told me about. The dead guy, the Whitehoof guy. I find it funny I'm helping undead, but whatever. I guess the orcs don't care so much about the undead as much. Because if they work, they work. Now, I wish I had better light source, for this type of area, but whatever. It looks like it's a pretty easy area for the most part. Alright, that's this guy using a ruin there, so this guy's got ruins. Interesting. A Woodhoof hailstorm. So, the air seems to freeze and wither around this terrible undead. Another one of these hammer guys. Well, looks like we got ourselves a Lefangel statue over here. These guys seem to move pretty fast for undead. These guys apparently have higher global and movement speed than you think for an undead creature, but whatever. And they have ruins, Biting Gale ruins and Shielding ruins. Other stuff. There's a little bit of lore from that guy, apparently. Oh, that hurt. I need to get rid of this then, so... Looks like this is instant, by the way. Something I know is that this apparently takes time to use this one, like the simple healing salve, but if you use the simple frost salve, it'll basically be instant. So yeah, it says activate this item is instant. This one isn't instant. It's kind of annoying. The healing isn't instant, but whatever. Drop the mock orders. I'm not going to lie to you, things aren't going great. Between the Doom Elf escape incidents and deaths of Kalmanar and a great deal of our expensive combatants at the hands of the anomaly, and the disappearance of the first Dweffelden, we've been set back pretty far this year. As such, your orders are simply lay low, stay out of sight, and conduct passive observation until we can get a foothold in a new plan. And regarding the first Dweffelden, quit your murmuring right now. I've seen his track record, and I know most of you know it too, which is why we can safely say that despite its nature, his loyalty is not in question. We can assume his abrupt cessation of communication is a necessary part of his investigations, and him not going rogue. If you see him, tell us of his whereabouts, but do not interfere. This letter is signed with an unreadable but formal-looking demonic seal. So, we got some demonic orders apparently. And Lefangel. Lefangel, mentor of Drabor and child of Emerald, was one of our finest scholars. When most of us were still too afraid to go near the portal, he covered an intact one and began to pry apart its secrets in hoping of reaching Maj'Eyal. His data showed that although the portal was still technically connected to Maj'Eyal, the link between the two worlds was still fluctuating far too much to make it safe for travel. The still raging flames threatening to tear any prospective passengers apart before they reached their destination. Rather than try to repair the link directly, he went into his lab and didn't emerge for a few days. When he came out, he glowed with a strange new enchantment, proclaiming it would adaptively mutate him to endure whatever damage the portal would otherwise inflict, saying that the consequences of failure were too awful to risk inflicting on our test subjects. He entered the portal himself, promising to return immediately after he arrived. He has not been seen since. May he rest in peace for his selfless devotion. So, I'm filled with raw power. And there's a stacks of herbs. Stacks of herbs are used for, like, you know, building stuff, I think. Yeah, stacks of herbs and stuff. You know, I should probably start looking at building some of this stuff to see what it does, but... whatever. Interesting. So apparently these are like tinkers I can attack this stuff. You know, I think these are like, you know, end game type of stuff you use eventually. That's how they work. And there we go, we leveled up. Just what I want. Alright, well, let's see here. I read a little bit about a guide to sort of get an idea of like what would be good to get in, like, you know, the Steam Tree stuff. Something I was looking at, apparently the Static Shock is actually really good for killing stuff, as is the Trick Shot. So they're both like high tier abilities you can use. So what I'm thinking about doing, I guess at this point, let's maybe start building up a little bit of Static Shock so I have an AoE. And, look at that instead. That's what I'm going to do. The Journey of the Krimbul Clan. Well, this is going to be fun. We are not a people of great ambition or complex desires, we Minotaurs. We seek not to choose a direction for this world, we wish not to spread across the land. We are content not to build great machines or great empires. What we wish more than anything is simply to live. Alas, the rest of the world wishes that we do not. We cannot say where or how the hostility started. If we had to guess, perhaps a soft foot considered us a pest for seeking out homes in their storerooms and their armories. We are drawn to great magic, especially when it is concentrated in artifacts, and over the eons of persecution, we have developed an equally strong instinctive drive towards safe places underground. Although, again, this is simply a guess. If there is enough stray magic around, we can live on it without eating or drinking, and see no need to come to the surface. Indeed, under such conditions, we might not even age. Most Minotaur tribes that find a safe habitat, glowing with magic and filled with enough dark, twisted passages that soft-footed would not come down in force, discover that they no longer need cooperation to survive, and slowly lose themselves the instinct. For a long time, it was only our willpower that made us different, and even that was beginning to wane. In a way, maybe what happened to us was genuinely a blessing. We cannot tell you how long ago it was, as we do not write down our history at that time, and we had more pressing concerns soon after. At some point, though, we felt a home, better than any we'd ever felt before, through a long service of caverns and tunnels. The magic is here. It was incredible. Well, you don't have a word for it, but tasted is close enough. Different than anything we absorbed before. Hearty and rich, and it soaked into our tired bodies so easily. We did not even need to stop to rest. It kept us so rejuvenated. So we kept going down, losing track of how far it was. In truth, I think we walked the length of the continent, if not more, cheerfully pressing onward, eager to see what awaited us at the end. If only we noticed that what we were feeling wasn't rejuvenation. Our leader, Garnock of Stormy Fist, was the first to fall victim to it, and if he hadn't done so in such a dramatic fashion, we may have all been lost. His eyes became frantic and watering as we walked onward, and he began making odd, pain grunts before stumbling and falling. We heard a crack and suspected that he may have broken an arm. We dashed closer to him, but stopped when his back and shoulders bulged and shifted shortly before several tentacles burst from him, covered in blood, fur, and skin that they dragged with him. He simply pushed himself up with these new appendages as though nothing was wrong. We backed away from him, and he grew wild, grabbing at Karbatha the One-Horn, and surging the unfamiliar magic that saturated these caverns at once. A strange creature burst forth, separating the two before hovering over us. He made false promises to us as Nektosh ran to his sister's side, claiming that Garn's faith was a gift, and asked us to join him. We are simple, but we are not fools. We ran. We felt a wave of magic surge forth, sickly like rotten meat, and Karbatha cried out in her brother's arms. We kept running as the tunnels bent back and forth, spiraling upward until we were certain that the creature had lost sight of us. And then we heard a message in our minds. It's too late. The blessing is already within you, and these tunnels are far too long to escape before it takes root. Come back so we can guide it into form you will find pleasing. And from deeper back in the tunnels we heard a bellow from what used to be Garnock. As we examined ourselves, feeling teeny hints of the blade magic within us all, Nektosh took Karbatha away to a hastily assembled tent, and she was gone. After the commotion ended, he strolled out and gave a remarkably lucid assessment. The magic seemed to only work on the living. Karbatha's illness stopped when her heart died, and although it was certainly a drastic idea, if we couldn't purge the curse through some other means, we had to consider purging the life it fed on instead. He was not our only necromancer, but the idea was still nearly unthinkable, until we realized that it was growing. There was no visible signs, our bodies or minds were resisting it, but it was only a matter of time, and perhaps even less time for Nektosh. We reluctantly agreed, and he prepared the spells and potions needed to keep us mostly as we were, bereft of life. Preserved, strong, and even feeling and smelling when most leeches could not, but still cut off from nature's gifts entirely, and still incapable of bearing young. This generation would not age to death, but would nonetheless be our last. He volunteered to be the last one, only instructing another of us on how to convert him once all of us had been treated. Whether it was because of infection had more time to fester within him, or because he had suffered through in his sister's tent, Nektosh has never really been the same since then. In a cruel twist of fate, we found what would have been paradise not long after our escape, the mana caves, laden with magic, but we only needed a tenth of it now as we did it alive. Nonetheless, it's been our home and ever since. Most soft feet would have raided the caverns and wiped us out at like Common Vermin, but the Kruk Pride treated us with respect and dignity that perhaps no Minotaur or undead creature have received before, let alone the combination. We are still a reclusive people, and our current state gives us even fewer reasons to need trade with them, but they are the closest thing we've had to friends, and I suspect that right now, we are that to them as well. Alright, so apparently the Krimbul clan is actually friends with the orcs, because the orcs didn't actually treat them badly, amazingly enough. So, air recycler. Lots of stuff to pick up. Stop blowing our cover. We get it. It's our fault the fire portal and mailing system isn't perfect. Our people are still working on undoing the dirty rigged configuration that keeps your portal from transporting anything that isn't living. And if we get it wrong, that means people start getting teleported into walls again. It's already a damn miracle you can get through the portal without coming out naked on the other side, let alone still carrying your backpacks and all their contents. In the meantime, we're still losing a few layers going through the mailing system, and the lost ones could end up teleported to pretty much anywhere. They could end up 10 feet from the portal, or they could end up right in some AK busybody's hands, or they could just warp themselves right up to Arkruk's nose for all we know. Likewise, anything written on these notes could end up exactly where you don't want them, wherever they might be. My point is, when you are writing those letters, write them like King Tolek's looking over your write them like King Tolek's looking over your left shoulder and your grandmother is looking over your right, or at least show some sense of subtlety. Don't complain about the prices of illegal potions. Complain about the extra strength medicine. Don't ask about safe accommodations for slaves. Ask about private servants. And please, for the love of Lunali, stop calling the fire portal a fire portal. The AK doesn't even know we have this thing yet, and we don't want to give them any ideas on where or how to start looking. Call the courier or a pack golem or train Eurovalis for all I care. Korvac. P.S. Yes, I'm breaking my own rules with this letter. You idiots clearly don't understand subtlety, so I can't assume you understand a subtly written letter. Yes, I'm aware there's a chance that this letter could end up in enemy hands. No, the irony of that situation will not be lost to me. Yes, I will hurt whoever thinks they're clever by bringing up any of the proceeding. Well, that was fun. You know, getting frozen constantly like this is kind of annoying. These guys are annoying. Alright, well. Clink. Clink. Done. Alright, so what are these invokers all about? Are these like, necromancers, I guess? They got frozen ground, so they got surge and death. Yeah, these guys are the undeads here, I guess, the necromancers. Okay, he's out of the way. And we're going to Starling Shot on this guy. And kill him. And I'm frozen again. And we apparently got a new schematic called Hook Shell. Apparently got a quiver. So, talent granted, one hook shell works on the quiver item slots. So I guess this thing will probably work on my shots if I want to. There's a healing infusion apparently. Frozen again. And there's a teleportation ruin. At some point, I'll have to organize my thing here at some point. You know, this hotbar, but whatever. I haven't died yet. I was actually expecting to die at some point, but I've yet to die. Well, we made it for the first level of Krimbul's territory. Down the rabbit hole we go, I guess. Har har. You know, one thing I really hate, it's nice that you can basically target out of range, but you actually have to, like, you know, like, basically you can't just, like, you know, click 2, and it'll fire you. You can't, like, hold control and click 2 and it'll fire for you. You actually have to click with the mouse. It's not very ideal for like, keyboard players, this game, in some ways. Hello? Ah, this is annoying. Stop summoning ghouls! That's the thing about ghouls, they summon each other so easily. Razor Edge, what's this? So, here's a weapon for a smith. Iron Razor Edge. You know, at some point I'll probably look into Tinkers a little bit, but only if I survive long enough to really make use of them. And Stormfront. This blade grows faintly blue and reflects a sky full of stormy clouds. So this looks like a new weapon for the, you know, content. Or content. Apparently it's a tier 2 battle axe. That's a one-handed weapon. Inflicts your shocked or wet, chosen at random. Interesting. And I do need to get better armor. Is this better? Looks like it's a little bit better, but I need strength for it. So, something I know about this, you know, the gunner, you actually have to spend like maybe a few points on like strength so you can basically pick up, you know, stuff that you want to wear. Not the funnest thing, but whatever. Well, that sucks. This guy's right here. Oops. We got ourselves this guy here, and it looks like a necromancer. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. Okay, I'm going to fire at him like this. He's got War Shot, apparently. Let's just get out of there right now. And he's up there, so... Ow. Apparently he's got a psionic attack on his weapon, of all things. Alright, let's go with Ceasefire. Demo him with Starling Shot. Apparently he likes to run away. So there's the stack shot, how it basically works. You fire it, you know, it basically does, you know, a big boom. And there he is again. Let's go with Starling Shot and kill him. So there's a rare kill. Okay, we'll go with, okay, reload, do some strafing. Strafe's such a fun skill. And what was that? That's just a wall. Okay, I thought that was a special item or something. Ow. Just killing enemies as I go. Wow, 2 rares at once. So, one of these guys is obviously a alchemist. That's this guy's the alchemist, and then this guy's like, you know, he's got Wraith form, so he's obviously a corruptor, I think, or he's like a demonologist or something like that. All right, well, there's that flame coming up. It's going to be annoying. I'm going to strafe. Strafe. There's this guy coming for me because, you know, he can go through walls. Okay, this guy's definitely a Doombringer because he's rushing at me. And that's not good. Let's I fight this. I don't want to fight both of these guys at once, so we're just going to teleport. Not into a good place, apparently. Heal up a little bit. That Doombringer is going to come for me yet again, but hopefully I can, you know, wait for him to come for me. There he is down there. I keep teleporting to really bad places. It's kind of annoying. Up here they both are now. So this might be where I die because these guys are going to be really annoying to fight. We're going to strafe at this guy. Alright, he can pull me because, you know, he's a Doombringer. Let's go this way. I think this is like the alchemist is doing right there. Be cool if I kill the alchemist right now, but okay, here's this guy. So let's try killing him if possible. There goes the alchemist, so he's out of the way. Now I just gotta worry about the Doombringer. Ah, of course, I walked right up to him, he's right here. Hello. Still got a couple turns left before... Ow. I hate how they move really, really fast, these guys. Let's activate this right now. Let's do this to him. Damage him a little bit before I run away. And good, I'm in a place where I can actually heal up a little bit, so... Heal up. Again. Apparently, yeah, dude. This guy's being annoying with his stuff. Alright, let's go with, something here. Take that off. Let's actually get Orcish Fury going at this point. And... can I use this? This would be actually good, too. Okay, so I can't actually teleport from this guy at the moment. Annoying as that is, but whatever. Okay, let's try stunning him. Heal up a little bit. He's actually running away from me, which is actually sort of ideal. This Darkfire is firing at me, so maybe I want to avoid that. think he just killed himself. Great. Means I'm done with him. Alright, so, you roll in the defeat of your foes, gaining 7 damage resistance for 2 turns each time you kill an enemy. The resistance will scale with your talent level and constitution, passively increase all damage penetration by 7%. So, this is like in our Orcish racial. I think we'll get, why not? This is something really nice about orcs. They actually have really nice racials for a race. Let's get this. A transcribed speech. Excuse me there. Men and women of the Krimbul clan, I come before you today because with my awakening shall come a great destiny. One we shall all share. The dawn of our new age is at hand, and I would do you no good to sleep through it. Allow me to open your eyes before I lead you to our ultimate destiny. Unicorns! I'm sure you know the story of these incredible creatures, their beauty and power. The humans know it too, and the orcs, and the steam giants. They all have their own variants in the myth. A one-horned creature of incredible magical potential, but an elusive one. For many years, I have told you that Karbatha and I were descendants of these mythical creatures, and you denied it. For just as many years, I could not prove it. But all that changed when the flying machine fell in the lake. None of you foolish cowards wanted to go down and investigate. None of you, so I had to go down instead. Fortunately, your ignorance paid off. Without any of you wishes to scare it off, the unicorns of old myth, the creatures that have stayed hidden from me because you were all too close, finally found me in enough privacy to grant me their blessing. Even still, they did not directly appear to me, but in their own way they awakened the power that has always been my right to possess, the strength that has lied dormant inside me for all too long. And awaken it did. Look to the south at Frostgrave Mountain. Do you see that hole through it? That is my power, a mere side effect of what happened with some insolent swine dared to question it. That is the power I have always had, the power I have always deserved, the power that shall now lead me to my rightful place over the giants, the orcs, and nature itself. Cheer! Cheer, damn you! Now, as your new lord, you are lucky that I am a merciful one. I grant you all a tremendous honor, the opportunity to serve me and personally witness the fall of all who oppose me. Gone are the days of hiding from the steam giants. Gone are the days of treating those crook orcs as equals. Gone are the days of living claiming dominion over this world. They shall bow to us for the mercy of being made undead, or I shall personally annihilate them. The living, and those who would not join me, shall be crushed under our hooves, and the world shall be ours. Alright, so yeah, this guy's gone insane. This a little bit. Yes, I'm having to clear my throat quite a bit. Yoink! That's actually a really fun skill that the gunners have to slip away. Alright, to the next level, I guess. So that's a lot more difficult than I expected it to be, this, you know, those two rares popping up like they did, but whatever, we got through them. I think we'll skip this ring. That looks like a really nice piece of armor to possibly keep around, so I'm going to actually keep it. And when I get a chance, I really want to replace this with something better, but I need to get some strength for it first. Why is there water? Alright, you know what? I really don't like water levels all that much, so maybe I'll backtrack at this point. And we'll say that's far enough in that area for now. Maybe we'll kill some riches in a bit. Or explore around a little bit. That's something I can do too. So there's the Rich Hive. That might be worth visiting. But you know what? Let's do this next time. We'll go into the Rich Hive in my next episode. For now, I think I've done enough. You arrive in a maze of shifty sand tunnels, but you have with you the power of technology. You have been given a stylish sand shredder. Use it to dig yourself a path. Should there be none to be found, simply walk into a wall of a shredder equipped, and the sand wall will crumble before you. Beware to not draw too much attention to yourself, and do not forget to collect the eggs. Alright, well, we're going to be collecting eggs apparently next time. So go to the Rich Hive in the mountains north of Iran Desert and collect a big pile of rich eggs. About 3 viable eggs will be sufficient. When you are enough, find a tunnel leading to the north and use the special sand shredder gloves tinkers to open the path under the gates of morning. Finally, place the eggs in a particular spot to hatch. With luck, they will provide a distraction while you later assault the city. Well, whatever. That's pretty much good for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Take care.